Well, good morning, everybody. Whoop, off, on. All right, we're a little bit early, 4 or 5 minutes early. Let's hit the foam roller. Let's get the orange one today. And the first thing we want to do with that foam roller, and we have been focusing a little bit with a group such as this. So by the end of the week, it seems like 700 or 800 people enjoy Mobility Monday with me. So I'm going to assume that most of you are one of those 700 on YouTube, joining me every Monday for the last 120 Mondays. And if you're new, then welcome. Be gentle with this movement. We've been working on the spine and how the spine works in both extension. This would be extension. When we go into spinal extension, we load the front line of the body. And the front line refers to the front fascial line of the body, which includes the quads, the hip flexors, the pecs, and it also includes the front muscles of the neck, right? That sternocleidomastoid, also known as SCM. So if we go into extension, we're going to extend the hips, we're going to extend the chest, open up the chest, and we're going to look up. So that's extension, right, of the body. We load the quads, we load the hip flexors, and we load the front muscles and tissue around the neck. If we want to add more load to extension, we're going to take the hands into thumbs to the back, because that puts you into a neutral shoulder position. This would be even externally rotated. So if we went thumbs here, we're going to go thumbs to the back, and we're going to use the arms to extend the spine and come all the way back. So we're just mobilizing into extension and loading the front line of the body. Let's go 5 of those. Loading that tissue builds trust between the brain, the central governor, and the tissue in the body, the nervous system, and how everything works together. Okay? So we're just going to go extension and then come back. Hips come to the front. See if you can add the head. Hips come to the front. Good, and one more. Hips come to the front. And good. If I extend my head too far, it actually starts to not feel, I don't get any pain or anything, but it feels a little bit compromised at the low back. So pay attention to how your body is feeling. All right, now we're going to work flexion. And that's where I'm going to bring in the foam roller. So extension is head up, flexion is head down, shoulders forward, collapse the chest, push the hips back. And we're going into flexion. All the way down, round the spine, and then articulate the spine on the way back up into a little bit of extension, right? Drop the shoulders forward, round the back, and come back into extension. Tuck the chin, round the shoulders, round the upper back, into flexion, all the way back. We'll do 2 more of those. Round the chin, drop it down. See if you can get those fingertips and backs of the fingers to the ground. Come back up. Now we're loading the back line of the body. Tuck the chin. So the back line would be all the way down to the plantar fascia, the Achilles tendon, the calf muscles, the soleus, hamstrings, glutes, all of the back muscles, all of the upper back muscles. Tuck the chin. Everything that connects all the way through the head, all the way back down, and come back. Good. All right. Then we have the lateral line. So we talked about the front line of the body, going everything through the front, loads in when we go into extension. The back line of the body, which loads when we go into flexion. Now we're going to do side bend, because there's a lateral line of the body. That's the TFL, the IT band, the lats, all of that. Let's go ahead and put the right hand behind your head elbow is back. You're going to load the lat immediately, and then we're going to shift the hips to the right and kind of dip the left shoulder. 2, load the lateral line on the right side. 3, 4, I want you to shift your hips. 5, good. Let's go the other way. So we're going to load the left lateral line. We're loading the lat, the TFL, the IT band, the peroneals, also known as fibularis. So we're shifting to the left, dipping to the right. 1, 2, 5 times. 3, 4, good, and 5. All right. The next line of the body, one of my favorites, is the spiral line. And the spiral line accepts force in an organized way in both running when you land and riding when you push down into the pedal. All right, so I'm not going to go too much into the spiral line, but let's go into a split stance. Split stance. Not too long, not too short, comfortable split stance. All of your body weight, 80% of your weight is on your lead leg, okay? We're in that nice split stance. We're going to rotate the back hip into the midline. As the right hip goes into the midline, the right shoulder is following. So we're just getting this little bit of drop with the right shoulder into the midline. 2, 3, hold your head neutral, don't look down, caught myself. 4, we're going to go 10 of these. 5, so now we're loading this hip into rotation, right? Good. Into internal rotation of the left hip. Good. 8, 9, and 10. And it's a very gentle loading. So we're building trust between the brain and the nervous system and how movement is going to happen. All right? Split stance, load 80% of the weight on the lead leg. That means there's a little bit back there, but not much. Left hip is coming across and left hip drops. 1, 2, 3, hips feel great. I just got off the treadmill. 4, 5, it's good to be building back my run. 6, don't forget we all follow each other on Strava. We hold each other accountable. 8, 9, my Zwift currently isn't talking to my training peaks. I don't think it's talking to Zwift either, but anyway, I'm on the bike too. Good? All right, perfect. So we've got a little bit of warm up with the tissue. We're going to go into a wide stance, hold your foam roller, and we're just going to roll to the right and roll to the left. That feels some tightness. 4, and 5, and good. So that tightness for me, primarily through the upper body, doing a lot of strength training as well, so my focus right now is mobility, strength, run, and ride. So I'm running about as much as I'm riding, which would be more of a run focus, because I'm going to try and build that first, right? So the tightness that I feel when I come to Mobility Monday now is pretty reflective of what I'm doing. All right, let's go one more time. Push your hips back just a little bit. Remember that loads the back line of the body. We're just going to load lateral and rotational. We're loading up pretty much everybody except for the front line. And I could argue that right there, I'm loading the front line. 5, and good. All right, we're going into the work in the upper back just with the foam roller. So we're just going to put that foam roller right below the shoulder blades, hands behind your head, and we're just extending around the foam roller. Easy. 2, 3, 4, just one more of these. So there's extension, and it's starting to free up a little bit more extension through my thoracic spine. Okay, now we're gonna work the lateral line through the lat, and we're just foam rolling. I like to cross fiber, drag the skin across the rib cage, keep the thumb up, and work your way all the way down the lateral aspect of the rib cage. Good. All right, let's hit the other side. Thumb up. Foam roller right on the lats. We're just going to cross fiber. One thing I'm not doing right now is swimming. And Boulder's going through a little bit of a pool transition. I used to have 2 lap pools at Rally Sport. Those are gone now because we kind of got bamboozled by the pandemic, and I try not to get angry or sad about it because it's just a lot for me. But yeah, we had made some decisions. But anyway, my pools are gone, and then the next shoe is falling tomorrow, the last day where a lot of people trained and swam, is also closing. And it's only closing for a few months. There's another club going in, which is super good for Boulder. All right, let's just check in on those lower legs. So many Achilles issues these days, you guys. Don't be one of those people. Do your proactive mobility before you run, before you ride. And if you even just did Mobility Monday, before you go out for a run, there's 120 episodes. There's really no excuse. It's 20 minutes of mobility, which could keep you from getting an Achilles issue or a high hamstring issue, because everything we do is really built towards saving you from that kind of stuff, okay? So Mobility Monday isn't just for Mondays. All right, let's go half kneeling. We're going right knee down, right arm up, and just adding that hand driver, big opening of the front line. 2, 3, 4, we're going 10, 5, 6, 7, good, 8, 9, and 10, good. Switch to the other side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got good tension, no pain. 6, 7, 8, 9, good, and 10. All right, we're going to take a second. The midline or the medial line of the body. Let's go ahead and get the little foam roller. We're going to foam roll the adductors, the inner thigh. We did not talk about the midline of the body. The midline of the body is all of the adductor groups, right? So everything that holds and stabilizes the body down the middle. If you take care of your adductors, you're going to have more strength and access to your glutes. It is one of the biggest keys to gaining more glute activation is to build strength and mobility, or mobility and strength, into the inner part of the leg, because that is one of the tightest parts of the body. Tightness begets muscle inhibition on the other side. So if we call the inner thigh the adductor, the adductor, that's the biomechanics, that's how it moves. Tightness in this muscle will inhibit or limit the amount of function in the lateral part of the hip. So this should be daily. If you want to really optimize how your lower body functions, then you want to be foam rolling and strengthening your adductors. Okay, from right there, let's go into a nice wide stance. We're going to glide to the right, push your hips back, and get a nice stretch and mobilization of that adductor. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, one more, 5, and 5. I'm moving you around a lot today, so we're going to go back onto the ground. As soon as you're on the ground, your nervous system relaxes. It doesn't shut off, but it relaxes. So from right here, the spine feels quite safe and happy. Feet are just outside of shoulder width, and we're just going to drop the knees to one side. Knee toggles, 2, 3, and we start to load the lateral line as we rotate. 3, 4, we're going to go 10 and 10. Knee toggles, supine is face up, so we're going supine knee toggles. 6, 6, 7, 7. I'm not too worried about moving up here. 8, we want to separate the lower, upper and lower body. 9 and 10. Good. From right there, let's take the right foot onto the left knee, and we're just going to hold. We don't do a ton of stretching, but let's hold this position for a minute. So I think of it rather than a big muscular stretch, I'm thinking about a joint position, because there's so many muscles that are doing different things when we do this. So we're going right ankle onto left knee. We're just reaching through the hole, and we're just holding that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, head should be straight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, leg down, switch sides. Switch to the other side, reach through the hole, try to keep your head nice and neutral. Make sure your eyes are looking straight up, not back out the back door. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, we're going to go right leg over left. Instead of having the ankle on the knee, let's roll it all the way up mid calf. And what we're going to do, the right leg is going to pull the left leg across. So now the right leg is adding load to the lateral line on the left side. So we've got left leg, nice tension, and then we bring it back. Same thing other side, left ankle on the right knee, and then slide it halfway up mid-calf, and then the left leg is pulling the right leg across, and we load that lateral line on the right side. We're going to do one more on each one of those. And you might feel that right up into the belly, up into the obliques, all of it. And come back. We go right ankle onto left knee, slide it up halfway up the right calf, and then the right leg's job is to pull a little bit of traction on the left side and creates tension through the lateral line and a little bit of that medial line. I'm feeling that a little bit in the iliacus as well. And good. Okay, actually it's the front line. So left ankle on right knee, slide it partway down the calf, and we pull it through. So to clarify, the psoas muscle goes right through here, right? Right in the medial part of that hip bone. The muscle that connects the psoas to the pelvis is that iliacus, and that's right here, right on the inside of the hip joint. And that muscle, the iliacus, is part of the front line of the body. Okay, take that back. Good. Let's get back up. You should be able to get up off the floor with a little bit of grace as well. Into that split stance. We're going to work that rotation. So a little bit of drop in. Same thing. We've already been here. Now it's moving so much nicer. So glide and slide. Everything's moving. Good. 10. Same thing other side. We got right leg in front of left. Little bit of forward lean, 80% of the weight. We just drop that down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should be nice and smooth. 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's go one more time into extension, all the way into flexion. So we're going to finish this session where we ended it. First thing, let's make sure your feet are anchored. So you can see these stripes on the mat that I'm standing on. We parallel the outside of the feet. Brings the knees almost into neutral. Some of you are going to feel knock-kneed. Don't drive the knees in, but let the hips lay in that neutral position with straight feet, okay? So we anchor the feet up. We're just about shoulder width. We're going to go thumbs to the back, big extension, and then drop it all forward into flexion. All the way back up into extension, all the way down into flexion. 2. We're going to do 5, 3, 4, and 5. We take that for granted. I promise you, you take this ability to do this for granted. That is a beautiful position to be able to get into because you intended to, right? This is also a really good position to be able to get into because you intended to. It's not a good position for performance. It's not a good position for golf. If you want to golf and hit the ball well, then you can't be in flexion. Because if you're in flexion, that means that your body is not functioning in a balanced state, right? So even if you're a big pickleball player, you want to play pickleball with really good posture, all right? Anyway, there's lots and lots of layers to this. Thank you for showing up Monday morning. I hope you feel great. Reach, get those arms and shoulders, get that thoracic spine moving. Have an amazing week, and I will see you next Monday. Aloha. I always say aloha.